Hi, this is Jim, aka Armorama, and we're going to be showing you some World of Tanks matches here. We're going to call this one A Tale of Two Radleys, and for those of you who play the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then stay tuned and you'll find out. We're going to be playing the Su-122-44, which is a Russian tank destroyer. It's a premium tank, and if you have been playing the game, you've probably seen one. It's been around for quite a while. It's a premium, and that means you have to pay gold for it. Obviously, you have to pay cash. This was my first premium tank. I've had it for quite a while. I really didn't play premiums for about the first year I played the game, and I don't know what it was. I just loved this tank, so I decided to buy it because I thought it just looks cool. It seems to perform well, and every time I go up against it, it has a really hard-hitting gun. And the tank does have a certain speed, both of firing. It fires about every 6 seconds, which is pretty amazing for this 122mm Russian gun, because it does put out alpha damage of about 400 per shot. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, depending on your crew and perks and so forth. But this tank, again, is my top performer. If you look at my service record, you can see that up until recently, this was a Cromwell, maximum experience per battle. And then I had one of these videos I'm about to show you is the battle in which I did 2382 in pure experience. So I forget the Cromwell battle I think I had before this was also a Top Gun or something. But this tank I've played 1,262 times, win ratio 61%. And I do have the XVM installed on here so you can see some additional stats. But my overall win, 13,055 games. I have a win ratio of 54.64%. So I'm not a uber player, obviously, because you run up against guys who have really crazy win ratios, like 65, 70%, and efficiency ranks. I think I'm efficiency 60-ish. This says 61, but I thought I'd come up as 60. Maybe I went up one. But this is efficiency 60, and I've seen plenty of guys with 95 efficiency, even with lots of games. So, again, I'm not an uber player. I'm not a bad player, obviously. But so I want to definitely show you these videos. But let's go back and take a look at the tank just real quick, the tank destroyer, and give you a little overview. So, again, top speed on this tank is 47.5 miles per hour. It has an amazing traverse speed of 42, and that's because it's built on the T-44 chassis and I assume engine. The engine has 500 horsepower. Again, the standard shell damage, they're showing it up here. I'm not quite sure, from 293 to 488. And I have actually seen 400 plus, definitely high 400s. Very rare, though. The gun fires, like I said, the official rate is 7.5. But with a gun rammer and with a good crew, you're going to see definitely, 6.5, 6.7 second shots. The aiming time is a little long at 2.9 seconds, although again you can get that down with a better crew and so forth, or perks. The accuracy says 0.41. It's a little more accurate than I think this 0.41 indicates, although you will get those occasional wild shots. So it'll be interesting to see both with 8.6 coming out and the fewer number of wild outside shots, and then also the additional XP you're going to get on a tank destroyer. I'm thinking this one's definitely going to do well as all my other tank destroyers. And you can see, actually, if you looked at, actually it's not on that screen. What's it? Oh, it's on that. That's on the World of Tanks site. The comp, I have way more tank destroyers. Let me take it off premium here. Way more tank destroyers than I have regular tanks. So I've got some heavies. I've got some mediums. I have a lot of mediums. Actually, maybe I have about the same, a couple less mediums. And then I run almost no arty, no light. I do have a couple of French arty, and I have a T50. I've run different light tanks playing the game, but they're usually the tank I drop the first, or sell it first to get a space to buy more. So let's go ahead and take a look at those videos and see what you've been waiting for. Okay, well, welcome to the first battle. This is Pearl River, which is I believe an 8.5 map, so fairly new. Don't see it a whole lot, although I have seen it more lately in the last week or so. There's two ways to play this map. Essentially, you can move north from this position and go through this very narrow pass area. and where the town kind of is, with this bridge. You go over the bridge, you go through the pass, and you go around the top. The other is obviously to flank around to the west and then north. Usually the mediums and smaller tanks, tank destroyers, occasionally go this direction, and the heavies all head north. Now, this particular map game was a little odd. I headed off towards the bridge and the pass, probably the way I normally would, no matter what tank I'm playing. And unbeknownst to me, because I hadn't really picked up on it yet, my entire team, except for 2 other compatriots, moved to the west and north. And I set up here and start to look through this little space here for a shot. And I know that eventually they're going to pop over this center area. There's actually 3 areas you can get through on that where I'm pointing at, and that's why it turns into quite a little trap in terms of heavy tank warfare. But I'm hoping that I can, at least hold him back and slow him down. So I get a nice shot here in a second on a Tiger that's going to pop up in just 2 seconds. Yep. Boom. Hit him right on the coupler there, I think. And so essentially an M4 has moved up and is facing off against, I think, another medium tank that's on the other to my left. You can't see him. And then there's a KV-1 kind of to my side here, a little in front of me. Now that KV-1 does last the longest, and he moves back towards my right. But eventually, at some point, there are 8 tanks here that we're facing, and it's gonna be me versus, I believe, about 6 or 7 that are left at that point. So I get a nice shot in there on that VK. And the nice thing about this tank is, in this position, with my lower glacis mostly covered, it is hard for them to really score a good hit on me. They really probably should have rushed me, and all of us, but they didn't. They decided to try to take it easy. I mean, they've already knocked out the M4 at this point, so I believe, like, you can see on the map, mini-map, that the KV-1's now behind me. He's still trying to take shots. I think he's moving back up and forward. This Tiger proves to be challenging, even though I got a nice opening shot. I'm not going to get him again until he comes in closer. But at one point here, the other team says, "Oh, we're just fighting a couple tanks. Let's just go ahead and go down there and start wailing on them." So I start thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be doomed, but I don't give up. So I'm still thinking, well, I'm doing well here. Obviously, now my gun got damaged. I'm going to repair it. And at some point, yeah, here we go. This 2801 decides to come in and try to kill me. Boom. He dies. And then I think another tank quick tries to move in Panzer IV. I like the Cromwell. So you can see starting to whittle them down bit by bit. Starting to take damage too. Driver got hit. Not sure why I healed him right away. I probably shouldn't have, actually, considering I'm not really having to move too much here. Although it does allow me a little more flexibility. So that Panzer IV decides to create a little barrier there, a little wall. And at which point, I believe I stick my head around here in a second and realize the Tiger's moved down in real close. I don't get a good shot on him. I think I do get a shot. Oh yeah, I get a shot. 357. So... And again, by this, this point I'm by myself. Literally, if you look back at the mini-map now, you can see my entire team. There's 2 or 3 tanks over there that are essentially slowing them down. But that's it. A Cromwell and a Panzer IV. And I think there's a KV-1 over there somewhere, too, that they don't see yet. But, so here I am trying to get a shot, and this Tiger was clever. He kept moving back and forth, and I think I missed him either once or twice, or got him once, obviously. But, and other tanks moving around in the background. I think that VK moved over to get behind the building over here. And I missed him there, and I got frustrated. And this is where I could have easily blown it. And I move out here. I think the VK hits my tracks. I get track damage. Hit the Tiger. Kill him finally. And so now I have the 2 of them left of the 8 that were originally on the enemy side. Get rid of this Cromwell. Or excuse me, Churchill. He's annoying. And at this point, the VK really just should have waited till I fired and then tried to move in fast. But again, with a 6-second or 6+ second reload time, this tank really, you have to overwhelm it with superior forces. Otherwise, this is the kind of scenarios people get either overconfident, or to some degree, I think in the initial part of this battle, they were over-exaggerating our forces, and therefore, they really just should have rushed us and killed us, the 3 of us. I mean, I am just a tank destroyer, obviously, so you track me, and, you know, it's going to take a while. I think I've used my repair, obviously, so... Luckily, I'm able to get up to... I think I looked to see if I can look through the window here, because there are some buildings now you can kind of poke through windows and look, but... that doesn't work, so I'm... wait for him to fire, move in... He missed me 2 or 3 times there. It was kind of amazing. Because he missed me again. Watch, he'll miss me again when I pull back on this one. Fire. I pull back. Boom. I think he was trying to track me, but obviously, I'm not sure which gun he had. Maybe he couldn't pin me very easily, especially at that angle. So, I figure at this point, well, there's the KV-1 over there. He's the last one left. So I'm figuring out there's no way. I mean, look at all my team there. Look at the proximity they're in compared to me. There's no way. I'm just wasting my time going around here. I would maybe just sit still. But I said, okay, well, you know, make the effort and make some silly comment there. So I'm moving around. I got stuck here on the side. I really can't stand that new feature where your tracks get bogged down on side hills and things. But essentially, you can see, you know, this is a really good performing game for this tank, but it is not rare to actually do well with one of these, especially in a Tier 7 battle. Again, I'm not making any huge claims here. If this was a Tier 9 battle, and I'd won Radley Award, Radley Walters Medal, I'd be touting myself even more, obviously. But no, this was a solid game, and easily my best game, I think. In terms of just not making too many small errors that forced my early demise. But you can see that one was one version. Here's the final screens. We got Top Gun, Steel Wall, Sniper, and the Radley Walters Medal, which is for killing 9 tanks. So I'm about to show you another battle where I killed 9 tanks, but obviously, as the title indicates, it's maybe doesn't turn out so well for me. So we'll just go ahead and watch that one now. And here's some, obviously, the remaining screenshots on battle damage. And so for 5,300 damage, I don't think I've ever had a 5,300 damage game before this, even on some of my Highline Tier 10 tanks. So I was really happy, obviously, with the overall outcome, and which probably is what made me think of doing this video. So, all right, so let's take a look at the next battle. This one is on Erlinburg, which has been around, a map's been around for a long time. This is an assault map, so we're the defending side on the north. You can see our green flag kind of up there. And the southern team's going to come, obviously, either from the west, from the center, or from the east. Now, I usually move over to these trees I'm about to aim myself at here in a second, and take some cover over there, and it's a good vantage point with cover without being like right up on the hill, where they're probably going to spot you too easily. And obviously they have to come up the 0 and 9 corridor for that position to really work well, which I've noticed on say newer matches over the last, say, since 8.4, 8.5, fewer teams are doing since they remodeled this map. Most teams seem to be either going the west flank or the center, which ironically I started going up when I'm on the attacking side. I started going up the center for both maps, actually, for both standard and assault. The advantage, I think, in the center areas is just have a lot more cover. Now, granted, if you get in there and you're all alone and there's lots of other enemy team around you, you're probably going to die quick, because you not only have your guys near you in the city attacking you, but then you've got your, there's allies up in the hills attacking you as well. So this is a good point I wanted to just point out here. For those of you who maybe play tank destroyers or even tanks, and you get disclosed, or you seem to, you get seen. When you're looking through trees like this, see how the trees are transparent that I'm looking through? I'm behind the tree, but it's transparent. Well, if you pull back to the point where the tree is solid and fire at that point, you will keep your cover usually. What happens is when you fire, and I think it's 15 feet or so, but when you fire too close to the foliage, it actually removes the foliage benefit there. And I know there's a change upcoming in 8.6. Glance a shot off this Yog Panther, and then I get a couple of good shots on him and kill him. Like that one went right through. But I know that some of those camouflage aspects are changing. I'm not sure what that element of it is. So there's my first kill. A good, nice, solid Tier 7 like myself. And this is again a tier 7 battle, so I'm not facing off any huge tanks. I will say that this tank destroyer though is really good, even fighting higher tiers. I mean, I fought in tier 9 battles with this thing, and it is done well. Get that little sneaky Crusader, I think, that's snuck back there. And then I see the Cromwell is also essentially trying to kind of spot from this hill, because his barrel's pointed way over there. I don't think he even sees me. And to get a couple of good shots off him. Missed that first one. His tracks must have aided. And he sees me, and he starts to move over the hill. Probably was a mistake on his part. This is what you don't want to do with an SU-122-44. He has a good, rapid-firing gun, but so do I. I forget what the speed rate obviously depends on the gun, but the Cromwell has obviously a very high rate of fire. But you do not want to attack this tank one-on-one unless you have some kind of benefit, cover or something. And he had no benefits there. He was going to die. Essentially, if you see, and you're in the open, and you see a Cromwell or really any high-powered tank destroyer with a powerful gun, your best bet is to go for cover, because they're going to track you. They're probably going to do something to essentially, slow you up, unless you're just a total noob of a player. So I see this Panzer IV up here, obviously, and he's, again, probably spotting and trying to look probably over towards where the IS is. Or was he? Actually, I think he was looking back over here. And so, just perfect. He lined himself up. Come kill me. I would like to die now. So I then try to look back over here on the city and get a couple shots on these guys, and again I get the same push my way on that corner there for a sec. But these guys line up. It's almost like, hey, let's shoot at you with your 76mm or whatever I've got gun, and not do any damage, because at this point again I've not taken any damage. And the BK is a little more trouble. I think I try to get a couple shots off him, but they're good at bouncing and ricocheting shots. So at one point, I think the KV went. Now this is where I'm about to make my mistake. I look at the mini map. We're doing 4, obviously 4 tanks left now. 3 versus their what? A lot. And I know that there's a lot of tanks coming around this northern flank from the west. And I could do 2 things here. 3 things. I could stay on this hill. I could move down and try to intercept this flanking force going across the bridge right now. Go into the taller structures in over there in the north. Engage them there, or I could go down like I'm doing and try. What my plan was here was to try to eliminate these tanks down here in the streets in the middle, and then turn around and be able to focus on the tanks up north. I thought it was a good plan, but I do get most of these tanks, which this one again is giving me trouble. Hit his weak spot there on the side, or trying to, and he's saying no. And sorry. So last. So now I'm getting hit by an M7, which flanked around those buildings, shooting in the butt, and the IS helped me, which was nice of him. But the M7, again, no match for my gun. And again, at close range on this tank, you really do have to hit a sensitive spot. I mean, what are you going to shoot out on the top of this tank? So you do have, if you have a good gun compression, you can shoot down. If you're like a point-blank range, you can shoot down at my hull and probably get through it. This Stug had to disappear right as I was about to fire, so I did take a blind shot there, but did not make it through. And then he doesn't appear again for a while, so I really got kind of screwed on that Stug. He's probably what threw my game off here, because the third time I try to get him, or the second time I try to get him, I try to go through this little opening here where the tank and the building is, and believe it or not, there's a little wood shed or roof thing over the firewood that's there, and it blocks my shot on him. So I can't shoot without hitting that, so I have to drive up, break that, get the shot with a whole one hit point, and then, I don't know, I should have pulled back, but I didn't, although I think I would have been dead either way. And boom, the Tiger P gets me as I come around there. So, 9 kills, Radley Walters Medal again, but this time, no win. So, won't even show you the stat screens on these. So, I hope you enjoyed this first video. If not, don't let me know, because it took a lot of work actually to make these. I'd like to do a call out, though, to a guy I've been watching on YouTube for quite a while, Bohemian Eagle. Probably a lot of you already know who he is, but he's a Brit who makes these videos. He's almost as old as me, but not quite. And he does a really good job. He goes by Mighty Jingles, or Jingles when he plays, I think, over on the UK and sometimes the North American servers, or the Euro and North American servers. And then he his channel, I think, is called something like Wargaming or something like that with the Mighty Jingles, or maybe it's just World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. And so I'd like to give a shout out to him because he obviously helped kind of get me going, these videos going. So I've got a couple other ones I can put up. If you are interested, then just let me know. And please subscribe if you're not a subscriber already to our YouTube channel, which is Kitmaker. I'll try to do a playlist. I don't know if you can do a playlist subscribe. That would be a good option for YouTube to do, but I'm only going to be able to create a playlist for these videos because right now I need this account's ability to upload larger files or longer files, and if I started up a new account on YouTube, I wouldn't be able to do that right away. So, but eventually, if people requested it, I could always potentially move these to a different account. So, well, that wraps this one up, I think. Thanks for watching.